Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Raja Umar on my channel RU Speaks, and I am speaking for you all for the subject of geography, the environment of Pakistan, IGCSE in O-Levels Pakistan Studies Component 2. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about the effects of climate on the lives of the people in different climatic regions of Pakistan, and also we will talk about the river floods that one of the climatic hazards the lands of Pakistan suffer from, the climatic hazards like floods. So we'll talk about the causes, consequences, and how to minimize the flood risk in different areas of Pakistan. So starting with the effects of climate on the lives of the people in different climatic zones of Pakistan. As we have already studied right in the first topic of this unit, that there are highlands and arid zone and lowlands climatic zones in Pakistan. Now, if we talk about the highland region first, what we observe that in the mountainous regions of Pakistan, I mean in the northern mountains, we observe that there is really very harsh climatic conditions, very cold most part of the year, and just few months of summers they become pleasant at times and less harsh in comparison with the winter months. And what happens during those winter months, very especially, there prevails the indoor activities. I mean, people stay inside. The outdoor activities, they are abandoned and they do not go out as it's all covered with snow on those areas. So whenever the summer season comes, they practice the small scale subsistence farming, like growing corn over there, or they might be having some useful crops for them to grow over there to be used as their food items, or they may be using those lands, the terraced farming, for the sake of growing some fruits. So these are the activities, I mean, related to the farming over there in the northern and northwestern mountains during the the summer season. But in winters they remain inside, and few those who are experiencing really very harsh climatic conditions, they might be practicing transhumance. Already explained this term with you all, that is the seasonal migration, that they come down to the lower valleys to prevent that severe cold. And they might be having the handicrafts and the cottage industry over there, making handicrafts and decoration pieces and embroidery work in the cottage industry during the winter months, and those are sold out to the tourists during the summer months when they see a greater flux of tourists over there in that region. Then the population density is really very low, as it is the matter of the fact that in all those areas where the climatic conditions are not suitable to live, and where the landscape is rugged and not suitable enough to practice farming or other activities, definitely the population density is quite low in those areas. So northern mountains, I mean the highland region, experiences low population density just because of the factor of both, I mean the topography, the terrain is not favorable for them to live, and the climatic conditions are not really very much good for them. So that's why there is low population density over there. And because of this, as there is rugged landscape and difficult to develop infrastructure over there, so because of the poor infrastructure, the road railway network cannot be laid down, and the industries cannot be established, and other trade activities are limited, leading to low or very limited job opportunities over there. That's why most of the time what happens that during the winter season, the male members of the family, they migrate to the further lower areas, to Potwar Plateau like Rawalpindi, Islamabad region, or they may come down to the Peshawar Valley or some lower areas to work as laborers, to work in the roadside hoteling industry, or they might be working on the on tandoors to make bread for the people. So as they have the experience of running those hotels over there in the mountains, so when they come down, they experience the same sort of activities. I mean, they do those activities over here. So up to this point, we talked about the highlands, and now the arid zone. I mean, the dry regions of Pakistan, mostly those areas which experience really very low rainfall, the desert areas mostly, as we were discussing over there in the first topic of this unit. So this is the arid climate, having low or very low rainfall, scanty rainfall, mild winters, hot summers are there. And if we talk about the Balochistan's dry region, Karez irrigation is there, that they make the underground water channels to prevent water from being evaporated, so that they should have sufficient water available for them for the purpose of irrigation or even for their household usage. So we will discuss Karez system in the coming unit, water sources, in detail as well. Then in larger part of Balochistan, we see that the people are having the nomadic or semi-nomadic living. I mean, they keep on moving in search of food and water in different parts of the plateau, and wherever they find that food, I mean grass for their animals, and the water availability in some areas, some lake or pond, wherever they find it, they start living over there. So this is how they experience nomadic living in that area. Very low population density of Balochistan, as we see that there is about 18 persons per kilometer square is the population density of Balochistan. That is really very low. It is the larger area, but very low population density is, very few people are living over there. So in the northern parts of Balochistan plateau, Quetta Valley and the upper areas, the fruit farming and dry fruit farming is being done, and people are growing fruits and dry fruits over there in those areas for the sake of meeting their needs, and even they are supplying those fruit and dry fruits to the larger part of Pakistan, and they are earning something out of that. So it means that the arid climate has some impact on their lives, and they are experiencing certain issues, but still they are carrying out their lives over there. Now talking about the lowlands. Lowlands are the Indus Plains of Pakistan, the upper Indus Plain and the lower Indus Plain, including some parts of Potwar Plateau as well. Summers are really very hot and winters are a bit cool. Most productive region of Pakistan, as we were discussing over there in the topography unit as well, that as it is the agricultural region, the commercial crop farming is being done over there, like cotton crop, sugarcane and rice are being grown, even the oil seeds and others. So well-developed canal irrigation is over here, as we were talking about. The major rivers are flowing in this area, and from the dams like Mangla and Tarbela, the canals originate, and there are so many barrages like Jinnah Barrage, Chashma Barrage, Tonsa, Panjnat, and then Guddu Barrage, Sakhar Kotri. All those barrages, they are contributing to a greater extent to have a really very strong irrigation system of Balochistan. So all these canals and barrages, they are contributing to a greater extent towards the really well-developed canal irrigation system of Punjab and Sindh province, I mean the Indus Plains. So most densely populated, as the climatic conditions are really not very tough, and you can say that bearable, as we have all positive factors. I mean, we have long summer seasons. We are able to grow crops over there because of the availability of the canal system or irrigation system, and different sorts of crops can be grown over there, and the climatic conditions are not really very much harsh over here, and the winters are not really very much troublesome for the people. They are cool enough. So it means that the soil fertility is really very important factor of this area. The soil is really very fertile, and it is composed of the alluvium, the soil particles brought down by the rivers while flowing, and those soil particles are spreaded alongside the river banks, making those lands really very effective for the people, and they are able to grow really very good crops over there. So that's why in all those areas in the upper Indus Plain and in lower Indus Plain, we experience that there is the high population density over here, and the rainfall is moderate, and mostly in the months of July and August through monsoon. So this is how the effects of climate on the lives of the people in different climatic regions of Pakistan. Now talking about the river floods, that is one of the climatic hazards. So climatic hazards we are going to discuss. So number one is river floods now, and we're going to talk about the reasons that why do we have floods. So there are a couple of natural factors and couple of human factors. Natural factors might be also known as physical factors. As at times the examiner may ask you that write down the two physical factors leading to river floods in Pakistan. So you may not be getting confused in physical and natural, both are the same thing. So what are the physical factors related to river floods? Melting of snow during summers on the glaciers of northern areas. They melt because of the higher temperatures during summer season, and they contribute to a larger extent towards the increase of the river discharge in Pakistani rivers. All those are flowing within Pakistan, leading to floods as they overflow because of the excessive water coming from those rivers through the melting of glaciers over there in the northern areas. So heavy monsoon rainfall, as I was explaining just in the last minute, that because of the monsoon rainfall, the river discharge increases, and this leads to the river floods in the Indus Plains of Pakistan. Now talking about the human factors, I mean how humans are contributing towards floods. Number one, cutting of trees, I mean deforestation. Deforestation is the factor, as people are cutting down the trees for the sake of using those trees for fuel, for sports goods industry, for construction, for furniture, or for other purposes. Even buildings over there are being constructed over there in the northern areas of wood. So this increases the soil erosion and surface runoff. So this surface runoff leads to the floods over here in the plain areas of Pakistan, as there is no hurdle in the way of water in the form of those trees. The water rushes down the hills and destroys a lot of the area and crops and even the property and lives. So this can be the one major factor, that because of the deforestation carried out or done by humans are leading to river floods over here. Then failure to strengthen or heighten the embankments alongside the rivers. The river sides or the river banks, they are not being made stronger enough or they are not made of concrete to protect the surrounding areas, whether the crops or the settlements from river floods. And those embankments, they are whether they are weaker or they are not there. So whenever the river overflows, it destroys and it creates greater floods over there in the plain areas of Pakistan. So these are the 4 reasons. You might be asked to write one physical or natural factor or one human factor for 2 marks, or you may be asked to write 2 natural factors or 2 human factors for the sake of 2 marks. Then you are supposed to attempt accordingly. Then how to reduce flood risk. As I have talked about the effects, that because of the floods there can be the property loss, there can be the life loss, there can be the agricultural production loss, there can be the electricity outage, there can be the communication and infrastructure loss. People might not be able to reaching out their offices, so it means that the efficiency of the people might be decreasing because of those floods. So all those factors, they come in play because of the floods. So it means that the effects of the river floods might be really very drastic, and Pakistan experiences severe flooding after every 7 to 8 years. So as we have an example of river floods of 2010, they were really very much devastating across Pakistan. And 2 years back in 2023, again Pakistan experienced severe flooding over there in the upper Indus plain very especially. So how to reduce the flood risk? I mean, whenever we talk about the causes of certain issue, we must be knowing the consequences, I mean the effects, and we should have the control in our mind that how to control that issue. So 1, 2 and 3, we come up with 3C formula: causes, consequences, control. So 3C formula I have mentioned over here. So you are supposed to be with this one if we talk about any of the issues Pakistan might be facing. So first, find out the causes, that why that issue has risen. Secondly, what are the consequences or effects? And keep in mind, whenever we talk about the effects can be positive and negative as well. I mean, in many areas of Pakistan, the people who are having their lands closer to the rivers, they might be wishing for floods, as those rivers might be bringing the alluvium for them into making or refreshing their soil fertility, making those soils really very effective for the coming seasons for agricultural growth. So, but for the others, those who might be losing their crops, or who might be losing their properties, or the lives even of themselves or of their animals, they might not be feeling good for river floods. But few might be favoring it, few might be against those river floods. So it means that there can be certain positives and negative consequences out of the same one. And the control, that how to overcome that issue, we are supposed to plant more and more trees, afforestation projects, afforestation campaigns, like Aga Khan Rural Support Program in the northern areas, to plant many trees over there on the foothills of northern areas, Karakoram range and Hindu Kush range, or even in the Himalayan region, so that to prevent that soil erosion or prevent that surface runoff, and to develop some sort of hurdles in the form of the trees in the way of water, so that the water should not be rushing down and destroying everything. Then enlarging river channel. We can enlarge the river channel. I mean, if this is the width of the river, let me erase these causes, consequences, factors, so that I can be able to explain you people the other factors in the better way. So do not forget this 3C formula for any of the issue that comes under discussion. So talking about the enlarging river channels, if this is the width of the river, we can dig out a bit wider the river channel. During winters, whenever there is low water discharge, we can increase the width of the river so that it may be carrying more water in it during summers, whenever there is greater water discharge over there because of the melting of snow on the glaciers, or because of the heavy monsoon rainfall. So by enlarging the river channels, we can increase the water capacity of the rivers. This might be leading to minimizing the effects, drastic effects of river floods. River embankments. We are supposed to construct smaller walls of stones with concrete, cemented walls on the river sides, so that it might be carrying more water in it, leading to less flooding chances in the surrounding areas. Building extra channels, that is really very important factor, that how to bring or how to build up the extra channels. As if I say, if this is the main river channel and here we have some city or some rural area having the crop over here, we can construct an extra channel, a sort of canal like this, so that if there is the chance of flooding, the extra water can be diverted towards that extra channel, making it safe for the city or the crop region or the agricultural region. Now we have two channels over here. This is the main river channel carrying water, and the extra water which might be creating floods can be deviated to this extra channel, making this land, city or the rural crops safer from the effects of flooding. So that is what we call the building extra channel at this point. Now, flood warnings through media should be giving the messages to the people about the coming floods, that in which area there is the water discharge increasing, that might be leading to the greater flood risk in the low-lying areas. So media should be giving consistent and continuous frequent warnings to the people, so that they might be moving towards the safer places for the sake of for themselves and for the sake of the lives of their animals over there. So so this is the role of media comes over here, to warn the people, to inform the people about the upcoming floods, so that people might be making themselves safe. So no buildings in the flooding areas, and we have talked about that in the topography, that the active floodplains and old floodplain areas just closer to the rivers, I mean you may say that about 2 kilometers away from the main water channel, the river channel, there should be no settlements, no construction should be allowed in those areas, so that people might not be losing their properties and losing their belongings, and they even may not be losing their lives or the lives of their animals. So the construction of buildings should be banned in the regular flooding areas. So that can be one prevention. Then evacuation and rehabilitation. If there are certain chances of floods in some area, there should be the evacuation plan, like we have the government organization, that is NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority. So the role of National Disaster Management Authority is quite a lot, that this organization should be really very much vigilant to make an evacuation plan in any of the area where there are chances of floods. So they should have that plan all the time with you, that if the flood is inevitable, then what evacuation plan can be implemented in that area to move the people to these safer places. And after the floods, what plan they should have to have the proper rehabilitation system of all those evacuees, those who were evacuated before the floods. So a role of NDMA is quite effective over here, and this organization should be on the toes, very especially during the summer seasons, whenever there are more chances of floods because of the melting of snow and heavy monsoon rainfall. So more reservoirs. We are supposed to construct more dams on big rivers, so that those, whatever the melting of snow factor comes in play, in the form of the more river discharge or in the form of the heavy monsoon rainfall, whatever the extra water is coming, that should be stored over there in those reservoirs. So that would be the two positive factors would come up. Number one, the whole of the population in the low-lying areas would be safe from those floods because of the presence of those dams. Secondly, we would have sufficient water storage over there because of those dams to be utilized over there in the rabi crops in winters when we are really very short of water. So we can have this much of the plan to reduce the flood risk: afforestation, then large river channels. I mean, we are supposed to increase the width of the rivers. We are supposed to construct the embankments on the river banks, and then we are supposed to construct the extra channels, and then flood warnings through media, and then buildings and construction should be banned on the flooded areas. I mean, the active floodplains and old floodplains, and then the evacuation and rehabilitation plans of NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority. And there should be the most important factor, I believe, to minimize the flood risk is the construction of more and more water reservoirs like Mangla Dam and Tarbela Dam, so that they should be giving double benefit to the people, preventing the whole of the land or protecting or saving the land from being flooded, and secondly, more water storage for hydroelectric power generation and for the sake of more water availability for the industrial use and more water availability for the irrigation system of Pakistan. So this is all about for our today's lesson, and in the next topic, inshallah, we will talk about the drought in Pakistan. Again, it is an issue, it is another climatic hazard we will discuss in our next lesson, and we'll talk about again the causes, consequences, and drought management systems can be adopted for Pakistan to get rid of those drought situations. So do not forget to subscribe, watch, like, comment, and share my channel RU Speaks, Raja Omar Speaks for you. Up till now, this is all. Thank you so much.